The family and staff are gathered together in the drawing room, waiting anxiously.
I say, do we really have to stand around like this, waiting to hear the sergeant chuntering on?
It's all a bit theatrical, if you ask me.
Is he going to reveal who the murderer is?
I hardly think so, Charles. I'm not aware that anyone's been murdered, so keep your wild imaginings to yourself.
I hope this isn't going to take long. I've got a bun in the oven.
Here's the sergeant now with that Marbles woman.
And they got Mannering, and his valet with them. That's a rough do. What?
Yes, and why isn't Gaston wearing his uniform?
He's probably under arrest.
Oh, God.
Thank you for gathering here. Miss Marbles has uncovered some interesting facts concerning the case, so I'll hand you over to her to explain.
It all began when Lord Chutney received a series of anonymous warning letters. This led him to call the celebrated Belgian detective Hercule Poirot.
Pity the chap didn't come.
Ah, but he did come, bringing his assistant, Captain Hastings.
Then where are they?
Well, wisely or otherwise, they decided to stay here under assumed identities.
Indeed. And what are these assumed identities?
Captain Mannering, alias Captain Hastings.
And Gaston the valet. Ha! Yes, it is I, Hercule Poirot, who have been in your midst observing you all.
And doing a bit more besides.
And have you solved the mystery of what happened to poor old Chutney?
Oh, but of course, if you will excuse me for a moment, all will be revealed. Come, Hastings.
I say, where's the fellow off to now?
We'll have to wait and see, sir. Miss Marbles, if you care to continue.
Thank you. What began as a case of warning letters and a disappearance took an unexpected turn when a mob robbery took place. An individual posing as a German professor sought shelter by claiming his car had broken down.
I said at the time there was nothing wrong with it.
He planned to steal the jewels. But how did he know they were there? Evidently, he had an inside accomplice. That Lulu woman. I saw her coming out of her ladyship's room last night.
And she's gone off with the professor.
But she was Chutney's lady friend. They were almost engaged.
She, too, is not what she appears to be.
Seems her real name is Polly Perkins of Paddington Green. She's well known as a fortune hunter. Gets to know wealthy single men, usually elderly and susceptible, gets them romantically involved, then fleeces them of their money and decamps.
Then why didn't she do the same to Chutney?
I believe she must have been through his accounts in his study and discovered that he was not wealthy, but heavily in debt.
What's this? Chutney in debt?
Having made this discovery, Lulu, alias Polly, decided to steal the jewels instead, calling on her husband Sid, a well-known safe breaker, to act as her accomplice. What else can we assume?
Well, if I'm not allowed back in my kitchen shoppish, you can assume that my bomb surprise will be a disaster. Too late.
Perhaps the staff might be allowed to return to their duties if there's nothing more that you wish to ask them.
I don't see why not, do you, Sergeant?
Certainly, you may go.
Thank goodness. I found it most inappropriate having family secrets revealed, with servants hovering in the background.
Evidently, Polly and Sid made off in the night with the contents of the safe.
Which we now know contained Ethel's notebooks, not the secret documents.
And of course the jewels. You've been very quiet about those recently, your ladyship.
Just keeping a stiff upper lip. Someone has to set an example.
There's a little bit more to it than that, I think. I happened, quite accidentally, to overhear the Major telling you that the jewellery theft was a stroke of luck. What exactly did you mean by that, Major?
Yes, well, actually what I meant was a stroke of bad luck, actually. Yes,
I
what?
believe a certain diamond is the pride of the collection.
I'll say the Star of Puna, worth a bomb.
Sergeant, would you be so kind as to show us what you found in the Major's room while searching for clues?
I believe this is the item you're referring to, ma'am.
Oh, I say, that's it all. That's mine. Give it back, what?
All in good time, Major. It's a catalogue for an auction sale at Sotheby's, New York, earlier in the year. Lot 17 is listed as a collection of English family jewellery, including a diamond known as the Star of Puna. It fetched over $1 million.
Grandma, old Flintlock's flogged our family jewels.
And you fool, Algernon. I told you to destroy that catalogue.
Oh, I was going to civil. How was I to know my room would be searched, eh? What?
In that case, what was in the safe?
I suppose it all had to come out sometime. It was glass and paste imitations.
So Lulu and the Professor have gone off with some cheap costume jewellery and Ethel's notes on nuclear physics. I'd love to see their faces when they find out.
Your ladyship wasn't thinking of claiming the full insurance value of the real jewels by any chance?
No, of course not. That would be dishonest. I don't know why everyone's looking at me. I have not committed any crime. I simply asked an old family friend to sell my jewels for me to raise a little capital.
I'd hardly call $1 million a little capital. And keeping it a secret from the rest of the family.
Ah, here's Monsieur Poirot back again. I believe we're about to have the answer to another of our little mysteries.
It is time for Poirot to reveal the vanishing Lord Chutney. Et voilà!
Chutney, alive and well!
Hello everyone, missed me, hey?
Tufty, wherever have you been?
Well, Poirot here suggested that the best way to discover the author of this anonymous letters would be for me to disappear for a few days, while he and Hastings went incognito to see if the culprit gave himself away.
But where were you? We searched high and low.
There's a secret chamber in the wine cellar for special vintages. I camped out down there. Hastings smuggled me food, and I was able to sample a rare bottle or two.
What a super wheeze! Delighted to see you back, Uncle.
Oh, you had us all so worried.
Well, thanks to Poirot, here I am, safe and sound.
So, that's another mystery solved. But what about these letters?
Ah, yes. The very reason I brought Poirot here. I expect these famous little grey cells of his have cracked it by now. Step forward, Poirot.
Yes, who sent the letters?
There have been many difficulties in this case. I was not helped by a total lack of cooperation from the police.
Yeah, don't you start blaming me.
Come on, Poirot. Don't keep us in suspense. Who sent the letters?
Well, I haven't the faintest idea.
What?
After all we've been through.
Famous detective?
The man's a fraud.
One moment, please. If allow me, I can tell you the answer.
You? Allow me to be amateur lady detective to succeed where even the great Poirot is baffled. Impossible.
Pipe down, Poirot, and let her have her say.
I know very well who sent the letters. You see, it was me.
You wrote them? But where? Who are you?
Some 20 years ago, I was a governess with a commissioner's family in India, in Calcutta. There, I met a dashing officer, Captain Chutney of the Bengal Lancers, and we fell passionately in love. But then the captain was suddenly posted to the northwest frontier, and a report came back that he'd been killed in action.
A damned mistake. Taken prisoner. Held captive for 2 years.
Realising that I was now with child, I took the first boat back to England. The child was born, a girl, but unwilling to bear the stigma of single motherhood, I let it be known that she was my orphan niece and brought her up myself.
Felicity! Felicity! If only I'd known!
Just recently I discovered by chance that my gallant captain was alive and was now Lord Chutney, owner of Upton Downton. I hesitated to approach him and decided to wait until our child was 21, so that she could come and claim her rightful position as his daughter and heir.
And have you told her of this?
Oh no, she knows nothing. I even arranged for her to obtain a position here, so that she could become familiar with her rightful home and family.
A position? As what? Who is this girl?
I named her Ethel.
Good Lord, it's the maid. I got a new cousin, Ethel.
How lovely for you. You must introduce me.
But I still don't understand. Why send those threatening letters?
I suppose that was rather foolish of me. You see, Ethel told me that Lord Chutney intended to marry Lulu, and that would have upset my plans for Ethel. So I made a few discreet inquiries through some old police contacts of mine, and discovered that Lulu was suspected of prying on gullible older men for their money.
Gullible older men? Lord, what a fool I've been!
So I decided to send a series of letters to warn him of taking any rash steps.
I say it's jolly interesting, this Poirot. If only you'd know.
Do shut up, Hastings.
By the way, is it really true you're in the red, Chutney?
Stony broke, I'm afraid.
What about Upton Downton?
Mortgage to the hilt. At least we've still got the family jewels, the Star of Poona. Eh, Mother?
I'm afraid not, Chutney. They've gone too.
What? All of them?
Every last one.
Then that's me finished. Felicity, all those wasted years. I wish I could make it up to you. And to Ethel. Instead, you see before you a ruined man. No longer your dashing Bengal Lancer.
Oh, don't let that stop you. Do go on.
Could you still find it in your heart, I mean, to...
Well, if I knew what it was, I might.
to do me the honour of becoming Lady Chutney?
Why, of course. That would be a most satisfactory arrangement.
Of course, I couldn't give Ethel the inheritance you hoped for.
Oh, don't worry. I gather she'll be getting a nice, well-paid job at the War Office soon. Isn't that right, Mr. Lestrange?
Yes, absolutely. Splendid girl. And one of the family, too.
Shouldn't we ask Porges to send her up to receive the glad tidings?
I think not. She's already had one shock today, and to discover suddenly that her aunt is her mother and Lord Chutney her father would be too much. Let's go and break it to her gently later.
You realise I'll have to sell Upton Downton, of course.
Never mind. I have a lovely little cottage in St Mary Mead. We'll be very happy there. Let's go. We have so much to talk about.
Bye! Your ladyship, I think you should give poor old Chutney some of the jewellery auction money as a wedding present.
A dowry? Perhaps I should, as he is making an honest woman of her.
And what about the rest of us? It's family money after all.
Oh, don't worry, you'll all get your share. I'll just keep enough to buy a little villa on the coast d'Azur and a comfortable annuity. What do you think, Algernon?
Oh, excellent old girl. Cracking idea, what?
You mean you're getting married too?
To tell the truth, Maida, we were married secretly 2 months ago.
I'm speechless.
And it will be better for us all if we remain so modern.